Kim, I do hear your point. Packers win 31-20. Welcome to the Fantasy Beer League, where you get half-decent advice from half-decent guys. I'm your host, Shawn Joyce. With me, as always, is fan of the Creep series, Justin Giel.
I appreciate you saying series.
Yeah, well, okay. Our resident fantasy football expert, Matt Senni, and tonight's big loser, Matt Montgomery. So, Matt, why don't you tell us what happened and why you're here today?
Well, there's no specific thing that happened this week, unfortunately. It was more of what didn't happen.
Oh, okay, I see.
Jalen Hurts was the only, outlier with 28, and the rest of the team was pretty bad.
Yeah?
We kind of deserve to be in this position, even if we put bench players in, still in the same boat.
Well, that makes it a little better, I suppose, because it
sucks.
sucks.
Miles Sanders, so
yeah,
I can be at least rest assured knowing that it wasn't him, which would probably haunt me at night.
Yeah, it does suck when you have a guy on your bench that could have saved you, so at least you didn't have that.
It's okay.
I literally just taught my kids what an outlier is today, so I'm so hyped you used it in a real-world conversation. It's so awesome.
Math teacher Matt Senni. All right, here we go. We're going to draw your punishment.
No cat food. No cat
Dig in there, and when the music stops, you can tell us what you got.
Moment of truth. Oh, eat a raw potato.
Raw potato. Do you accept this punishment?
I do.
Okay.
I'm Irish. I feel like I'm obligated.
You should, as you should. All right, Matt, you can go take a seat, and we'll call you back over and do your punishment at the end of the podcast. In the meantime, Justin, can you please read the fines for us?
I can.
Should be a good time.
So I owe $4. Daniel Jones was QB4 going into last week. And then I cleared my throat during the Packers-Steelers game. So they let me down, and my own throat let me down. And Shawn, you owe $2 for clearing your throat during the Jets-Titans game.
That I did. That's all we got?
That's all we got. Also, when do the rankings update?
When do they update?
Yeah, because it's still before I left to come record, it said that Austin Eckler was running back 19.
I saw that, and it didn't make any sense because it's wrong.
It is wrong. He's 2.
Yeah, it's just wrong.
Literally can't.
But I looked at averages.
Yeah.
For the Daniel Jones fine.
Oh, I'm not contesting that.
Okay.
I was just unsure.
Yeah, I looked at averages after I saw that because I was like, that doesn't make any sense. Because I wanted an update on where Najee Harris versus Austin Eckler was.
Yeah.
And they're pretty close.
Yeah.
But Eckler does have more points.
I think Najee Harris is 3.
Yeah, I think so too. But it says like 6. It's totally wrong.
Yeah.
So ESPN, get your shit together.
Yeah.
Senni, can you read us the poll results, please?
All right. Can you believe Da Bears are best with Andy Dalton under center? 40% yes, 60% no.
They may not be anymore.
Is Rex Grossman walking through that door?
No, he is not.
43% yes, 57% no.
43% said yes?
Yeah.
That was a lot closer than
It should have been,
I
right?
could have ever imagined. Sexy Rexy.
Do you wish his first name was Chubba?
Mm-hmm. It should be.
5 out of 9 say yes. 4 say no.
Rex Grossman's 41 years old.
Tom Brady's 44.
It's not comparable.
Are you nervous about Jonathan Taylor? 43% yes, 57% no.
Pretty close.
Are the Dolphins better without Tua? This is one of the higher voted ones. It is a even 50-50 split.
Wow.
Wow, so it solved nothing.
Yeah.
Correct.
Didn't get any closer.
Is anti-vax Cousins the best Cousins? 40% yes, 60% no.
Going into this week, he definitely was.
Yeah.
That was a good 3-week stretch for Cousins.
Will Julio see more volume with A.J. Brown out?
He did not play.
55% yes.
Moot point.
45%.
Hey, 45% were technically right.
If you brew it, will they come? 78% yes, 22% no.
I don't know who would say no.
Should every spotlight in the world have a protected left turn?
This should be 100%.
Isn't.
It's not?
It's only 57% because 43% of people are just fucking assholes.
Wow.
Yeah, who wants
and
to wait?
Don't want to wait.
Who wants
That's
to wait?
fucking,
That doesn't
dude,
make any sense.
Just screen arrows both ways.
Yeah.
No fucking question. That's it.
All we got. All right, let's start our football talk. Starting across the pond here, yeah, isn't it?
That was bad.
Thanks. Sending over our best stuff to the Brits, Jets and Falcons.
Incredible.
Jets upset the Titans in overtime on Sunday, thanks in part to big games from Corey Davis and Jamison Crowder.
The 1 week I didn't pick them to win.
Yeah, that's true. You didn't. Are these both viable options going forward, Justin? Corey Davis and Jamison Crowder.
I like Corey Davis. I'm still not sold on Jamison Crowder.
I agree. And Corey Davis, I think, is dependent on matchup.
Yeah.
This is a matchup I like.
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
this is a time I'm starting him in my flex. Jamison Crowder, I would like to see it again. Atlanta did Atlanta things against the Washington, but Cordero Patterson scored 3 touchdowns en route to 34.6 fantasy points. Should he be in our lineups?
I think he's worth picking up, but I see him being kind of like a flash in the pan. I don't know that this is repeatable week in and week out. Obviously, 34.6 points isn't going to be repeatable week in and week out, but I don't see him putting up big numbers like this. Maybe
Nope.
against the Jets, though.
Maybe against the Jets. I'd be okay with him against the Jets. I have him in a couple leagues, and I am looking to trade. He is not going to keep up this production. He is not playing the majority of the snaps of their running backs. Mike Davis is still dominating the snap share, still dominating the touches. Cordero Patterson is just getting the ball pretty much every time he's on the field and turning a lot of those into big plays and touchdowns. It is not going to stand, but his value will not be higher at any point this season than it currently is. So if you can trade him, definitely look to do it. And again, 3 touchdowns. A casual fan is going to think that that's, repeatable, but it certainly is not. I'll take the Falcons to win 23-16.
I'm picking the Jets.
So am I. Falcons dog shit.
Yeah.
So are the Jets, man. Next, we have the Packers and the Bengals, 2 teams that are actually good. Packers won at home against Pittsburgh on Sunday, but Randall Cobb hauled in 2 touchdown passes. Is he a player worth rostering and potentially flexing, Justin?
I don't know. I don't think so. Didn't see many targets the first couple games. And really, I think anybody can put up numbers against the Steelers. So I would be okay rostering flex at best, but I'm not starting him week in and week out.
I disagree with the second part of what you said. I still think the Steelers have a good defense. Your quarterback is a skeleton. He's terrible.
Yeah.
That's why you suck, not because of your defense. Randall Cobb had 5 targets through the first 3 games, to your point. He had 6 on Sunday. I don't think it's repeatable. Aaron Rodgers does love him for some unforsaken reason. So he may score from time to time, but you're not going to know when those games are going to come.
Sure.
He's not somebody I'm interested in. Additionally, I want to point out that Robert Tonyan has 8 or fewer yards in 3 of 4 games this season. So he has crashed down to earth in an extraordinary way. The Bengals squeaked by Jacksonville last Thursday in a game that ended up being pretty good. Running back Joe Mixon and receiver T. Higgins will both be questionable throughout the week. I believe that Mixon is now actually week to week. I think he's officially out this week.
Fuck.
But keep an eye on T. Higgins' status. Given the shallow state of tight end production and the fact that he scored twice last week, Justin, is C.J. Uzama worthy of an ad?
I think so. I mean,
I think not, but I will
You
hear
think
you
not?
out.
It's fucking luck that he got those 2 touchdowns.
I think worthy at least of an ad, just because going through like I checked the waiver wires and everything. There's a lot of banged up tight ends out there, so maybe as like a fill in for if you have a tight end that's injured or bye weeks are going to be coming up. I think he could serve as kind of a streaming option.
He is a guy that will be added and dropped
Weekly.
a million times
Yeah.
in a league because you see, he scored twice. I'll pick him up because your tight end sucks. And then 3 weeks later, he has a total of 5 catches for 50 yards and you drop him. And then he scores 3 touchdowns. Somebody else picks him up. That's the way it's going to go. So I have no interest. I lived through this last year. But if you're tight end needy and you like him, I do hear your point. Packers win 31-20.
Yeah, I'm going Packers too.
Going Bengals.
All right. Senni, can you name a running back on the Lions?
I'm pretty sure that I have him. Is it Swift?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, I started him last week. I don't know why.
He's good. That's why.
Yeah, he's okay. So I started him because last week you said that he was a set it and forget it. So I specifically put him in.
He still
he
is.
got, 8 points?
Yeah, he still is, though.
Yeah, he still is.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not
He
going to
won
take
that
him
game.
out. All right, I don't think I've done a single one. So.
I have done one.
Okay. We're still picking you.
I don't care. Doesn't matter.
Peach Bellini.
Yeah, Peach Bellini. Jamal Williams outpaced DeAndre Swift in carries last week. Is that at all concerning to you, Justin?
I don't think so. I think they'll both see enough volume to warrant both one being rostered, and like we mentioned, DeAndre Swift set it and forget it. That was a good one.
Quick.
And I think Williams can serve as a fine flex play.
Yeah, he's a flex guy every week, and DeAndre Swift is an RB2, I think.
Yeah.
But, I mean, I definitely think that he outdid himself the first 3 weeks, but he'll still be a good running back. And they still throw to him a lot, which is his value. Bears defense is solid.
Mm-hmm.
Vikings defense, I don't think, is that solid, but their offense I still think is excellent.
Yep.
It was a tough game for all Vikings not named Justin Jefferson last week. Do you think this is a get-right game for the offense?
I think this is a game that they need.
Yeah, I think so too, and the Lions are not good.
No.
Analysis. I'm taking Minnesota 29-17.
Yeah, Skull.
Me too.
Ooh, that was nice.
Your Steelers take on the Broncos this week. Teddy Two Gloves suffered a concussion in Denver's loss to Baltimore last week. How does this offense change if Horsecock Locke is the starter on Sunday, Justin?
I don't know. I thought Locke played okay. When he has played, I think he's done well enough. So I don't see there being much of a difference if he was to get the start this week.
Okay. I see a pretty drastic difference.
So do I.
Good or bad?
Bad. Definitely bad. Teddy Bridgewater's been a very efficient quarterback. He's boosted the value of that offense. I think with Drew Lock, they become more one-dimensional and need to run the ball, and I think the Steelers are a good enough defense to key in on that.
Sure.
So I'm lowering my expectations for Melvin Gordon 3 and Javonte Williams. And Cortland Sutton is the only receiver I'd advise starting anyway. And Fant, I think, is a fine tight end, but I wouldn't bench him either way. I feel like they're a more successful offense with Teddy Bridgewater under center. I feel like I have to burp, but I'm trying to keep talking. Yeah, I wish I could do that. Fuck you.
A burp for you.
Thanks. He didn't really help. Damn it! Cleared my throat. For your shitty team,
Yep.
Najee Harris and Deontay Johnson are clear roster locks, but after a game in which he secured only 2 catches for 11 yards, what's your level of concern with Juju, Justin?
It's high. I mean, I think he really he only serves a purpose on them dump off passes, and even then he's not getting them.
Yeah, well, he had 8 targets last week, which is pretty good. But yeah, he doesn't catch the ball.
Not catching is what I meant to say.
Yeah, he doesn't catch the ball more than, a few yards in front of the line of scrimmage when he does catch it. So, yeah, I don't like him either.
It's a waste of space.
Yeah, I mean, he can have 8 catches for 30 yards.
Yeah, that's a Ben Roth. That's Ben's fault.
Yeah.
I can't tell you how many times I've seen that guy throw the ball on 4th down multiple touchdowns to the line of scrimmage.
Yeah.
Nothing infuriates me more. I think the Steelers are going to win this game 19-13.
Yeah.
Especially if Locke is the quarterback.
Yeah, I'm going to pick the Steelers. I'm not confident, but I'm picking them.
See, the quarterback change is actually like a significant enough thing where I think Pittsburgh has a chance. I think if Locke starts, Pittsburgh wins.
Yeah, I would 100% agree. I'll still pick them if Bridgewater's the starter, but I think it'll be closer. Dolphins play the Buccaneers in a battle of Florida. After another disappointing week, are there any Dolphins you want in your lineup, Justin?
I don't think so.
We know we're starting all of the Bucs receivers, and perhaps Cameron Brake with Gronk injured. But after totaling 23 touches against New England, compared to Ronald Jones 2's 6, can we put Uncle Lunny back in our lineup, Justin?
I have him. I'm not because of the position that I'm in, but I think he serves as a fine flex play.
I would agree, especially when Giovanni Bernard is not playing.
Sure.
And almost only when Giovanni Bernard is not playing, because he is the pass-catching specialist on the team. When he is out, Leonard Fournette is the 3rd down back, the receiving back. So he's going to get more volume. He's going to get more PPR points. He's a fine flex play, especially in deeper leagues. I think this is going to be a rout. I think the Buccaneers win 41-10.
Yeah, I'm going Bucs.
Yeah, of course.
Next, we have the Saints. Fuck the Saints. who lost to my New York Giants on Sunday in overtime.
Best case scenario.
They did that thing they always do, which is why my hatred for them is so strong. Taysom fucking Hill vultured 2 touchdowns
Pussy.
from Alvin Kamara, who had 26 carries for 120 yards. My biggest concern was always that Alvin Kamara was not getting the workhorse back carries that he should have been getting. Mm-hmm. Now that he is, I'm missing those days where he had all those catches.
11 catches for 90 yards and a touchdown.
Yeah. He had 0 receptions, 0 touchdowns in this week. What are your thoughts on Kamara? And is there anyone else you're considering starting, Justin?
No one else I'm considering starting from the team.
Mm-hmm.
I think with Kamara, I'm still starting him. I'm a bit worried that he's not being as involved in the passing game. If I'm a Kamara owner, I try to trade him now and get something for him. Mm-hmm. But nobody else on that team I'm really interested in.
Yeah, I would agree, Justin. I'm not feeling good about this offense right now. The Washington shredded the Falcons on Sunday. How do you think they'll do against New Orleans, Justin?
I think their offense isn't going to be as effective as it was against the Falcons, but I think they'll still put up decent numbers. I still like McLaurin. I like Gibson. And that's really all I like because Logan Thomas went down, correct?
Yes, his status is questionable.
Yeah.
He got hurt, I believe, on the first play of the game, so he didn't even get a chance to give you any types of points. Mm-hmm. But yeah, the Saints defense I think is pretty good despite the fact that they got carved up by Daniel Jones.
Yeah.
I agree with your assessment, though. I'm still starting all those guys. Yeah. I may have a little bit of lower expectations, but not much.
Sure.
I think Washington wins 69-0. Fuck the Saints.
Yeah, I'm going to go Washington as well.
I agree, Washington.
Moving on to the Eagles and the Panthers. The Eagles' offense has seen success, from a fantasy standpoint, in large thanks to Jalen Hurts, who should be started in every league format, regardless of matchup. What should managers do with Miles Sanders, though, Justin?
He's been brutal.
Yeah.
If I'm a Miles Sanders fantasy owner, I think I'm putting him on my bench until he shows that he's able to be started.
Yeah, he sucks.
Yeah.
Yeah. Tried to tell you guys. Sucks. I'm not talking to you specifically, just the general you.
Yeah, I was going to say, I had no intention on drafting him.
No shares on him. He always goes too high. He's always in a committee. Kenneth Gainwell. His name is literally Gainwell. He should be the starting running back on your team. Not Miles Sanders. No interest at all. If you can trade him, I'd say trade him, but I don't think anybody's going to take him because I don't think he's going to turn it around at any point this season. Senni, who leads the NFL in rushing touchdowns?
I feel like it's a quarterback because I feel like that's the trick question here. I feel like I would know. I'm trying to think of like a quarterback who like I know is like scores a lot of touchdowns. Lamar Jackson.
Sam Darnold.
Wow.
When he said, I feel like it's a quarterback, I'm like, he's going to fucking get it right.
No, dude, I would have never thought of Sam Darnold.
You should have thought of the game.
Well, I know, and I thought of myself, I was like, wow, I really do not care when the Eagles play football, so I wouldn't know who they're playing.
Yes, Sam Darnold has 5 rushing touchdowns on the season. Sam Newton. Sam R. Jackson. Nothing? You got to give me fucking anything? I'm making name
Sam
puns.
should have been a Steeler.
What?
Nothing. You're too lost. Fuck it. Forget it. I hope somebody out there understood those damn puns. Panthers fell back to earth with a loss to Dallas on Sunday, but still proved to be a formidable offense.
Cam Newton.
Well, that I got the point that Cam Newton runs. I didn't know where you were going with it.
I got it.
DJ Moore is a stud, especially with CMC out. But what should managers do with Robbie Anderson?
Put him on the bench.
Yeah.
That's the only thing I can think of to do with him.
Or cut him. I'm ready to cut bait. But he has under 10 points in every game since week 1.
Yep.
The only positive is that they're trying.
Yeah.
He had 11 targets last week. That's encouraging. But him and Sam Darnold have never been on the same page, so I don't really see it turning around. Unfortunate. You probably drafted him relatively high, probably pretty close to DJ Moore, who's way outperforming him. Mm-hmm. I think the Eagles are going to win this game 24-21.
I'm going to go Panthers.
Me too.
Titans and the Jags. AFC South showdown.
Yeah.
Titans lost to the Jets on Sunday.
Abysmal.
They were without A.J. Brown and Julio Jones. If they're out again, are you starting anyone other than Derrick Henry?
I don't think so. Maybe Tannehill if you need him, but other than that, no.
That's fair. Jeremy McNichols had 8 catches for 74 yards on 12 targets. He is the backup running back.
Yeah.
So the only point I'm making here is that in the event you have Derrick Henry and you have a roster spot, you don't have a good backup option if Derrick Henry gets hurt. He's the guy I want.
Yeah.
Because he gets the passing volume, and I would assume he's likely to get at least a good chunk of carries in the event that Henry gets hurt. Always want to have insurance on your roster when you can get it. DJ Chark for the Jags is expected to be out the remainder of the season. Does this boost the value of any of the Jags pass catchers, Justin?
I wouldn't say by much, but I like Marvin Jones Jr. I think it boosts him a little bit.
Yeah, he's a guy that I already liked, regardless of Chark. When he went out of the game, Chark I'm talking about,
Sure.
Laviska Shenault had a pretty good game. It was the first time this season we've really seen him run a deeper route tree. Pretty much everything was at or around the line of scrimmage like Juju before that. So that's a little encouraging to see. I'm not ready to put him in my lineup.
Sure.
But if it continues, I do think the talent for that player is there. He's someone I'm keeping an eye on. But tighten up 26-12.
Yeah, I'm going Titans too.
All right, same.
Okay, 3 for 3 on the Titans. Patriots take on the Texans this week. Mac Jones looked impressive, and the Patriots lost to Tampa Bay. Does anyone else on this team have fantasy value this week, Justin?
I like Jacoby Myers.
Yeah, he's the wide receiver one on the team for sure.
Yeah.
Kendrick Bourne is a deep flex option, as is Myers, I would say.
I didn't. I mean, it's hard to pick one week in and week out, but both tight ends had touchdowns this week.
They did, yeah. And tight end's such a shallow position, so either guy is fine if you're really hurting for one. I think this is a week that I might consider starting Damian Harris because I expect them to lead for the majority of the game. But in terms of pass catchers, Jacoby Myers I feel the best about. He's probably about a wide receiver 3. And Kendrick Bourne I think has talent and is kind of forced into this role. He is okay, I suppose, if you're really desperate in a deep league. We know that Brandon Cooks is the only fantasy-relevant Texan. What are your expectations for him this week?
I have him. I'm a little bit scared. Mills looked brutal last week. And, I mean, Cooks still managed. It was just under 10 points, so not terrible. He's the only one really getting the looks.
Yeah.
But the Patriots know how to shut down a team's best weapon.
Yeah.
And that's Brandon Cooks. So I'm debating taking him out of my starting lineup.
Yeah.
So I if you're starting him, I would temper expectations.
Yeah, in an 8-team league, I think you should be able to do that.
Yeah.
It's deep enough that you should be able to find a replacement because I agree with everything you said. And we already know that Bill Belichick's going to be watching that game tape against Buffalo and rubbing his nipples, thinking about how he's going to shut down that shitty rookie quarterback. But yeah, I have him in a 14-team league, and I have to start him.
Yeah.
But I don't feel good about it. I think this is going to be a terrible game for the Texans all around. So I'm going to be slightly optimistic and hope that my boy Brandon Cooks scores a touchdown to salvage his day. I think New England wins 20-7.
Yeah, I'm picking New England. I'm not sure it's going to be that close.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to be close either, Patriots.
I don't think their offense is that great. That's the only reason I lowered. But
I just think the Texans are
Texans
bad.
are terrible.
The Texans are that
They're
bad.
bad. They're bad. Let's talk about hopefully some good things in Thirsty Thursday. Robert Woods scored a touchdown last week, so if you have him, try to sell him high. I'm not really interested in him at all. He feels about the same as Van Jefferson to me. I think that's a pretty good comparison. They seem to get about the same amount of looks from Matthew Stafford. Robert Woods is merely a flex option for me in deeper leagues. If I have him in a standard league, he's on my bench. I don't care that he scored. I am not interested in Robert Woods. Darrell Henderson Jr. should produce nicely against a Seahawks defense that allows the most rushing yards per game in the NFL. Sony Michel, I think, is even Never mind. I don't want to talk about Sony Michel. But Darrell Henderson Jr., I expect to play. I know he's questionable right now, but I don't think he's going to be out. That's where I was going with that Sony Michel thought. But since he played last week, I don't think that he suffered any setbacks. I think he's just questionable for maintenance reasons.
Yeah.
I think the Rams are going to win the game 23-20. And today I am drinking Cabana Hammock, nice little punny name there, by Moonraker Brewing. Yeah, it is cool. It's nice and tropical looking. It is pretty cold outside. It's a banana in a cabana, like my bananas in my cabana.
In a hammock.
Baby. This is really good. It's pretty standard New England style IPA. Juicy, hazy, nice tropical notes. I get a little bit of the citrus as well. It doesn't taste like banana. I don't think it's intending to. I think it's just the name of the beer. But if they were trying to get banana in this beer, I did not get it. I think it's solid. I will let you decide for yourself. So take yourself a sip there, my friend, and then tell me what you think about the Seahawks this week, what you're drinking, and who you think is going to win the game.
Sure. So, Seahawks, I think this can be a bit of a test for them. Rams got a good defense. I still like Wilson. I still like Metcalf. And I think I would be okay with starting the mattress this week. Those are really... Well, and Tyler Lockett, I suppose I'd have to throw him in the mix there just because he's got that ability week in and week out to have big games. Mm-hmm. Thankfully, this past week wasn't one of them because I was going up against him. But I think those are the only four that I'm really looking into starting. I am currently drinking... also, it is very difficult to find Washington beers in the area.
That's true.
And with that, I am drinking Contact Haze from Elysian. The can is pretty cool. It is a hazy IPA. You got a little guy losing like his head sort of thing there. It says Contact Haze, a tangled chemistry of mild haze, low bitterness, and an explosion of hop aroma. Burst of raspberry, currant, citrus, guava, and passion fruit.
Is that what it tastes like?
No, I get none of that. This beer fucking sucks. I do not like it at all. I bought it cold. It says on there, preserve the haze, keep cold. Bought it cold, kept it cold, taste old. It was canned on September 1st. I will let each of you try, and I think the Rams are going to win.
Weird silence. Yeah, I don't like that either.
Yeah, well, I got 5 more cans.
I didn't like it before I even drank it. I didn't like the smell.
Yeah,
I didn't like
I got
the
5
smell
more
either.
cans. I'm probably going to use them to cook with.
Ooh.
Maybe
Meth?
chili? No.
Senni, what are you drinking? Who do you think's going to win the game?
I'm drinking strawberry mango mojito dream. Looks like I'm tripping on the can. I don't know why the fuck they didn't just make that a D. It's from Burley Oak in Berlin, Maryland. It's a sour. I think this is fucking excellent. It's one of the best beers I've had in a while. And I think the Rams are going to win.
All right.
That was one of the ones I left here. I'm glad you're enjoying it.
Yeah, it's great.
Yeah, that's good.
I thought I had
Okay.
a burp. I didn't want to
so
burp into the
Okay.
beer.
Yeah, I thought you had a moment of revelation or something. Our first 4 o'clock game is the Bears
Bears.
and the Raiders.
The Raiders.
The Bears offense looked better against Detroit on Sunday, as most teams do. But friend of the podcast, David Montgomery, was injured in the contest. Early reports suggest he avoided suffering a torn ACL, but he is expected to miss 4 to 5 weeks. Are you interested in adding any backs on this team?
You know, I talked a lot of shit, but he was playing well. Obviously, you don't want to see anybody get hurt.
No.
In his absence, the Bears' offense really hasn't been clicking that well this year. So I'm not sure that I'm interested in adding any backs.
I'm adding Damian Williams where I can get him. He stands to benefit the most. He is a good running back. He was good with the Chiefs. He was good when Montgomery went down on Sunday. Granted, they were playing against the Lions. I think the Raiders have a better defense, not a great defense. So he is a guy that I'm looking to add, but he's also banged up.
Yeah.
If he is unable to play, then no, I have no interest. But 4 to 5 weeks is a significant amount of time. I expect him to be the lead back. Tariq Cohen will be back eventually. I think week 8 or 9.
He's missed a lot of time.
I'm not committing. I know he's on IR, so he's out for a while. I'm not sure exactly when he'll be back. But for now, Damian Williams is the guy I'm looking to add. The Raiders' offense crashed back to earth on Monday night in a loss against the Chargers. Are you starting anyone on this team other than perhaps Derek Carr Darren Waller for sure, and Josh Jacobs.
I think in a deeper league, you can give Hunter Renfrow a look, and then I like Henry Ruggs. He's getting the looks on the deep ball, and he caught a couple this past week.
Yeah, in deeper leagues especially, or if you're in a situation where you're looking to you don't think you're going to win and you just want to throw a dart, a guy that can hit a home run ball and get you an 80-yard touchdown. Ruggs is that kind of guy.
Yeah.
Hunter Renfrow is more of a floor play,
Yeah.
Where he's not going to have an explosive day, but he's serviceable. He'll get you 10 to 15 points pretty much every week.
I look at him in the same way that I look at Cole Beasley.
Yeah, exactly.
He's
I agree.
a good third down guy and could maybe get you a red zone touchdown.
And he's a great real-life football player.
Yeah, that hit.
Yeah,
Oh
a
my
beautiful
God, what a
play.
hit.
Great play. I think the Raiders are going to win this game 19-14.
Yeah, I'm going Raiders as well.
Me too.
Browns take on the Chargers. Kareem Hunt and Nick Chubb are locks every week, even despite Nick Chubb's bit of inefficiencies. But it's not his fault. I mean, in PPR formats,
He's
he doesn't catch the ball.
producing well.
Yeah.
It's just not good fantasy numbers.
If he scores a touchdown, he's an elite option every week.
Yeah.
If he doesn't score a touchdown, he's an RB2.
Yeah.
What do we do? What do OBJ?
No.
No?
No.
What do OBJ? No.
I wasn't big on him coming into this year. Granted, he was coming back from an injury from last season, but when he's been playing with Mayfield, they really have never clicked, and I'm still not seeing that, so I'm not sold on him.
Yeah, I mean the targets are there. His ability to get open is there. Baker Mayfield's ability to throw the ball accurately is there. I don't know what's off. I don't know if Odell doesn't run routes exactly as crisp as Baker wants him to. I don't know what it is, but they're not on the same page.
Yeah.
And as a bit of a teaser, I'm definitely going to put on the poll, what do OBJ know? Yes or no? Are you at all concerned with Mike Williams? He had a poor performance against the Raiders on Monday night. He hauled in just one catch for 11 yards on only 4 targets.
Yeah, I mean, I think this is his outlier of the year. I'm not concerned. I think, a lot.
Yeah.
Senni talking about it.
Yeah, outliers. Show them this video.
Yeah. I'm not concerned. I think it was, he missed Herbert missed him on a home run ball. And only on 4 targets. I don't know why they weren't using him.
Yeah.
He's 6'4", 6'5". I think the Raiders' tallest defensive back is 6'1".
They were banged up too, yeah.
Yeah. So I think it was just bad game planning.
Yeah, I mean, I don't expect the trend to continue either.
Eckler was also on fire too.
Oh, yeah, unstoppable.
So with that, I think that they were just feeding the hot hand.
Yeah, I'm not concerned about Mike Williams. I would fire him up again this week. I am taking the Browns to win the game, however, 24-20.
I'm going Chargers. They're looking good.
Yeah, I go Chargers as well.
Bolt up. Senni, can you name a wide receiver for the Giants?
Probably not.
No? Okay. I mean, I don't blame him. Right?
Yeah.
Well, it's funny because
Yeah.
I obviously have Saquon. I know Daniel Jones is, but then when I think about it, I'm like, no, I'm not invested in the receiving core.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's fair. Vince already put the.
Yeah, Vince is taking the sad long walk back to the refrigerator.
He's getting his steps in.
Yeah. Kenny Golladay finally had the kind of day that Giants fans were hoping for, Justin. What do you expect to see from him this week?
I think if it's repeatable, it is this week. The Cowboys defense, I do not think is that great. And I think this game it can be a high-scoring game. If
I
both
agree.
offenses start clicking,
Yeah.
I think it would be a good game to watch.
Yeah, Sterling Shepard is also a fine flex play if
Yeah.
he's able to go. He's banged up, but we shall see. For Dallas, CeeDee Lamb had yet another quiet game, 2 in a row. Last week's win over Carolina, tight end Dalton Schultz scored again. Is he worth starting now?
I think if you don't have a better option, yeah.
I am.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dak likes throwing to him.
Yeah.
And, tight ends in the red zone, so.
And tight end is a brutal position, so I agree.
Yep.
If you don't like the one you have, he is a fine pickup. I think Dallas is going to win the game, but I think the Giants are going to cover for my bettors at home.
Yeah, I think,
Dallas wins 31-27.
I'm going Cowboys as well.
I was going to say, I definitely think it's going to be close, but I do think it's Dallas.
Yeah.
Division games really can go anyway.
It's true.
Yeah, I
It's
definitely
true.
think the Giants have a chance.
Yep.
Yeah.
Let's get into the final 4 o'clock game. 49ers play the Cardinals. Trey Lance took over for an injured Jimmy G on Sunday, and he looked impressive from a fantasy perspective, not so much from a real-life perspective, but we don't care about that.
You got me points with Debo.
Oh
so
yeah,
I don't give a shit.
Did you see how open Debo was on that play?
No.
No.
No, I was watching a Child's Play.
Okay, great.
The new one, not the old one.
Oh, okay. I like both of them. I like the new one better, perhaps.
I like the new one better too.
Yeah, I like Aubrey Plaza a lot.
So do I. I don't like the way the doll looks though.
I don't really care about that. I like the way she looks.
Yeah. She's hot.
Oh yeah.
Better than Jennifer Tilly.
Yeah.
It wouldn't shock me if Trey Lance holds on to this job.
Yeah.
George Kittle had a slow start to the season, still without a touchdown on the year, which I think is insane. Are you concerned about him, Justin?
Yes.
Okay.
From a fantasy perspective, yes. My personal opinion, I think he's probably the
Vince farted.
I was gonna ignore it.
the best overall tight end in the league just because of the way that he can service a team.
Yeah, he's a good blocker.
Yeah, not getting touchdowns. I mean, he was getting looks this past week.
11 targets.
It's starting to look up, but until he starts pulling in touchdowns or is having 10 catches for 100 yards, I'm a little concerned.
Vince, that stinks. It smells, man.
He did it way over there.
But it's singeing my nostrils, unless one of you did it.
I didn't do it,
SBD.
but Vince did start pacing, so it probably wafted over here.
Vince wafted it into my face. But yeah, George Kittle, the target share last week was encouraging. I know they're trying to get him involved. I think it'll happen, but where you drafted him, you're not happy with him thus far. It will get better, but it may not be what you wanted it to be when you drafted him.
Oh God, that does.
See, yeah. Arizona is the last remaining undefeated team in the NFL, and they've produced fantasy-friendly numbers each and every week. The issue is knowing which player will be the beneficiary from Kyler Murray. How do you size up this offense, Justin?
I think Hopkins still needs to be started. I like Chase Edmonds. I think he's getting a lot of looks. These past 2 weeks, James Conner has scored 2 touchdowns each week. I don't understand it. I mean,
I haven't started him either.
He's their goal line back.
Yeah.
So, I mean, if you can guarantee each week that they're going to get 2 looks from the goal line, pick him up. But, I mean, still like Kyler Murray. I like DeAndre Hopkins, and I like Chase Edmonds. And A.J. Green apparently is back in the mix. But I'm not picking him up.
The issue for me is the wide receivers.
Yeah.
Because they have 4 good ones. And it's almost like trying to decide which Patriots running back to start in previous years, where you know one is going to be good, but you don't know which one it's going to be. So DeAndre Hopkins is the only one that I'm trotting out there every week. And then I think the other 3 really are risky flex plays, especially the deeper leagues that you get. So I'm fine with starting any of them, Rondale Moore, Christian Kirk, or A.J. Green, I guess. But yeah, and Chase Edmonds I think is the preferred option, but James Conner is more likely to score touchdowns. Chase Edmonds is not going to get many goal line carries, if any at all. But he has more PPR volume, which is what we're looking for here. Me personally, anyway, I want a running back that catches passes. I think Arizona remains undefeated and they win 31-23.
Yeah, I'm going Arizona as well.
The Cardinals are good at football.
Yeah.
I can breathe again. Let's talk about Sunday Night Football.
We've been waiting all day for Sunday night.
Do you want to burp again? I think it's pretty funny.
I don't have another one.
Senni, what have you waiting all day to talk about?
I've been waiting all day to talk about coaching.
Okay.
So, as ridiculous as this sounds, I've been coaching for 10 years now. Soccer basically since I was 16, 3 or 4 years doing wrestling. And the more different programs and different teams I'm involved in, the more that I kind of start to question how much does the coach have an impact on the team. Now, I think that when you look at teams that are not good, it seems pretty obvious, right? The coach is obviously going to be the one that helps the kids progress and actually figure out what the fuck they're doing. But at the end of the day, they can only do so much, right? If a team's not good, a coach could be the best coach in the world, and they might only get so far. And it's tough because sometimes you get into this mindset of like, all right, well, if we're winning games, not winning games, is that my fault? And sometimes, you start to internalize it as like, okay, well, maybe I'm doing something wrong. So I do see that side of the spectrum where it's like, okay, as the coach, are you responsible for miraculously creating talent in a team that may not have it? But then I've also seen the other side of it where you have great teams, just excellent talent, excellent players, and it almost seems like anybody could fucking stand out there with these people. And I think this is the case for pretty much any sport. If you're a school that is traditionally always wins football games, you just have a great feeder program, a lot of times a coach could go just fucking stand out there and hold a clipboard. But I also personally think that in those kind of programs, the coach has to be good to stay on top of people's, cockiness and
I was going to say control the ego.
Control the ego, honest to God. Because I've also seen programs where kids are very successful, and I've seen this in soccer and wrestling in different places where it's kids are just real cocky. They think they know better than their coach. They're telling their coach what to do. They're saying, hey, you should play this person instead. You should do this drill instead. And then I almost think it's more important to have a coach who reminds them of their place and, schedules them in these games where maybe they play tougher teams and get their ass kicked to be reminded that maybe they're not that great. So I guess the way I see it is like a lot of times it seems like the kid's talent could be the end-all be-all and the coach is only so influential. But I think that the coach is a big factor in, again, controlling the ego, just keeping kids in check and, just keeping them in line.
Yeah.
So I was curious because obviously my perspective of this is more in the realm of like youth sports. And you guys know way more in terms of professional sports and what a good coach is in the NFL, in MLB, all that stuff. Mm-hmm. So I wanted to get your guys' feedback on how important you think a coach is to the success of a program.
In professional sports specifically, or just in general? In
general, honestly.
Well, I think the younger you are, the more important it is.
I agree.
Because the younger you are, the less skills you have, the less knowledge of the game you have. And I think especially in high school and college programs, the coach is everything. If you have a good coach, you likely have a good program. If you have a bad coach, you likely have a bad program. In the pros, it depends on the league, first of all. Like the NBA, I've always said, coach barely matters. If LeBron is on the team, he is the coach.
Yeah.
So, Ty Lue, get over yourself.
When you brought this up, LeBron was the first thing that popped into my head. Was like he's a
and
player coach.
That's an individualized sport where the team, it doesn't
one
matter
player
as much.
Can win you
exactly.
a game,
and there's only
can win you a championship.
There's only 10 guys on the court at one time. In football, it's definitely more important, and it can be the difference between a good team and a great team. A team we're going to talk about, actually, the Bills, when they brought in Sean McDermott, it made a big difference. For their team. Mm-hmm. Josh Allen went from being a guy that everybody thought sucked to being one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL.
Yep.
And they're contenders every season. Same is true with the Chiefs and Andy Reid. Once they got him, obviously they were good before they got Patrick Mahomes, so Patrick Mahomes is the difference maker. But the reason that offense is so good is because it's Andy Reid's scheme and Andy Reid's influence. So I think molding players is more important at a younger level. In the professional leagues, it's more about scheme because players' skill should be mostly developed. Mm-hmm. It's just figuring out what works for your team and what players to get for your team.
Yeah, I completely agree. And then when you're younger, like especially kids first starting to play a sport, you think hockey. Pick up a hockey stick, you don't know what the hell you're doing.
Yeah, I still wouldn't.
Yeah. And when I think back to growing up and playing different sports, I think back on the good coaches that I had. Mm-hmm. Playing hockey, playing baseball, the one year that I played soccer. Didn't have a great coach, didn't like playing, but I feel like players will play better if they're playing for a coach that they like, that they respect, that they want to play for.
Yeah, definitely true.
And it also, exactly to your point, Shawn, college, everything. It's everything, high school, everything. Also, you mentioned the feeder programs. Mm-hmm. If you look at Alabama, they've been good for as long as I can remember. They're going to be good for as long as
Nick Saban's there.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I think it means a good deal.
And I think it does come down to depending on that age group that you're with, you have to know your role. You know what I mean? When you are with some of these smaller programs, you have to understand your role is more to build and, actually teach them those skills. And then obviously as you get to higher levels, you do understand, as you said, that it's more about the scheme.
Yeah.
And you don't misinterpret what your responsibility is in that program. And I think the better you understand that role, the more successful that program's going to be.
Agreed. And let's talk about two successful programs, the Bills and the Chiefs. Should be a good Sunday night matchup.
Yeah.
Especially for anybody who has a Bill or a Chief on their team. Are you becoming a believer in Zach Moss, Justin? We already know we like Stephon Diggs and Josh Allen.
Mm-hmm. I think he's worth monitoring.
Well, he should be on your roster. He should be rostered in every league, 100%.
Well, what I meant was not monitoring and picking up, monitoring on like what he's doing moving forward, and then putting him into your lineup. I don't know that I would start him right away if I had him, but I wouldn't shy away from starting him in upcoming weeks.
I think he's a fine flex option. He and Devin Singletary do split the workload pretty evenly, but he gets the goal line work.
Yeah.
He has been the better back the past few weeks. Every game he started, he's been better, actually. And again, the only drawback on him, the only thing I think that prevents me from putting him in my like an RB2 category is that Josh Allen is still going to run in some of those close range touchdowns. But I do like Zach Moss. It's a high scoring offense. If I was struggling, if I had some injured running backs, he might be a guy that I'd pick up and throw in my lineup. But definitely coming around on him. I was completely out on the Bills' backfield, but he is emerging as my favorite thus far. CEH has strung together two nice games, speaking of running backs that we were low on. Nice back-to-back performances of 100 yards and a touchdown. Do you think he's turned the corner, Justin?
I mean, I guess so. You talk shit on somebody long enough and
yeah.
they
the
turn the corner.
David Montgomery effect.
Yeah.
That's hilarious.
Let's just hope he doesn't meet the same end as him.
Yeah, well.
What are you going to do?
Yeah. I'm not quite yet convinced. It has been encouraging. If I had him, I'm still trying to trade him. I do have him in a league or two, and I'm still trying to move him. Especially I'm trying to sell high now that he's had two good games.
And that's what I was going to say. I think now you'd be able to get the most for him. So it would be a good time to move him.
Yeah, it's just this Chiefs offense, you never know who's going to score. And in his time with the Chiefs, he hasn't been the one to score.
Yeah.
I mean, they're throwing screen passes to the tight ends that aren't Travis Kelce in the red zone. Guys you've never friggin' heard of before. And they're bringing in Josh Gordon, who I don't think is worthy of any adding or anything like that. We haven't seen two receivers successful in that offense. But I don't know. I just feel like you have to keep starting him, but I'd rather move him for somebody that I'd feel more comfortable with in my lineup. Also, another fun note on the Chiefs. I'm out on Harrison Butker now.
Wow.
We gotta talk kickers, man.
Yeah,
He
somebody's got to.
doesn't get you points because he only kicks extra points.
Yeah.
The team does not kick field goals. He has 3 attempts on the season.
Incredible.
Yeah. So looking for other guys. Perhaps Tyler Bass, if he's available, is a guy I like. And he has the cool thing. He has the cool. Don't try to trade your kicker. He has that cool thing where he's got eye black under one eye. I always like that. Bills are going to win the game.
Yeah, I'm going Bills.
37-35.
I agree.
Wow, clean sweep on the Bills. Never thought I'd see the day.
Yeah, Chiefs are going to win then.
And our last game, yeah, they probably will. But it'll be close. I think it'll be a fun game. Whoever gets the ball back at the end of the game, whoever touches the ball last is going to win the game. Now let's go into our final game of the week, the Colts and the Ravens. Jonathan Taylor had another nice game against Miami on Sunday with over 100 yards and a touchdown. Do you think he keeps this up against Baltimore, Justin?
It's tough. I mean, the Ravens have a nice defense,
They
but
do.
I think he's too talented. I don't know that I would advise benching him.
No, you can't bench him, but I would temper expectations.
Yes, I wouldn't expect a 100-yard game and a score, but yeah, I'm not benching him. But just temper expectations, like you said.
I view him as an RB2 and have for most of the year.
Sure.
This is a week that I would consider him as more of like a flex guy outside of my top 20. And most of that is because he's not involved basically at all in the passing game. He had 7 targets in week 1, which was nice. He's had 5 targets since then.
Sure.
Passing volume is everything in fantasy football, in PPR formats anyway. A guy like Nick Chubb needs a touchdown. A guy like Jonathan Taylor needs a touchdown. Otherwise, they're not getting you more than 10 to 14 points because they're not catching the ball.
It's frustrating being a Chubb owner.
Yes, it is. Your Chubby is not doing you well.
No, I'm chasing.
For the Ravens, Tyson Williams was a surprise healthy scratch last week against Denver, and we saw Latavius Murray lead the backfield with 18 touches. Do you think he should be started this week, Justin?
I do. I mean, and I've always liked Latavius Murray. I think he's done enough to be worthy of a starter for a team. So if I have him, I'm giving him a shot.
Okay.
As a flex play, I'm not putting him as a RB2 or anything.
Yeah, I don't know. Again, this goes back to that same idea of he's not going to catch many passes. Baltimore doesn't throw the ball to their running backs very often. Lamar Jackson is probably going to run almost as much as Latavius Murray. And this seems like a rotating backfield. I mean, they're getting Le'Veon Bell involved. They have Devontae Freeman on the roster. I have concerns about throwing any Ravens running back into my lineup. But if I saw it again, my mind may change. But for now, I'm not advising starting him. I think the Ravens are going to win this game 27-16.
I'm going with the upset. I'm going Colts.
Okay.
I'm also going Colts.
Wow. I wonder why. Matt,
I like the Colts.
Yeah. Matt, let's get you back in here. We're going to eat a raw potato.
Ravens.
I do hate the Ravens.
All right, Matt. Time for you to trace back your Irish roots. Choke down this potato. Got a nice russet here for you. Looks pretty good. No sprouts.
Scrumptious.
No sprouts. So go ahead.
Looks clean.
Take
Doesn't
a
look
nice
too bad.
chunk out of that like an apple.
That's the best part. I think we just start from here and
I
go
think
down
so
the
too.
bottom.
I think so. That's the way you got to do it.
See what we got. See what we're in store for.
Okay.
Ugh.
It's very
Wow, that
crunchy.
sounds
Oh my
horrific.
God.
Very crunchy.
A lot crunchier than I was expecting.
Yeah.
Take a big bite out of that right next to the microphone.
And Vince wants the next bite for some ASMR. Have you guys ever eaten a raw potato?
Yeah. I
I
threw
have.
up immediately afterwards.
I think I've taken bites. I don't think I've ever eaten a whole one.
Doesn't go down as fast as I thought it would.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
I
because
feel
it's
like
a
that's
raw
the issue.
potato.
Yeah.
It's kind of hoping to just like hammer it down.
Yeah, just
Yeah.
kill it.
That's how I felt when I ate the banana
Banana
last
is
year.
similar. Yeah.
The onion for me last year was that way. I mean, I could eat onions all day, but if you're biting into it like that, it's tough.
Yeah. Yeah.
Definitely doesn't go down well. Can't lie.
You can chase it with your
Yeah, I
beer,
was going to say,
Yeah,
if
I
you
would
want
be
to take some
drinking-
sips.
like Joey Chestnut.
It takes away from the pain of the punishment.
Ugh, well, I don't want you to take
We're
20
gonna get
minutes
to it
either.
probably,
I don't want
but
you to die sitting next to me.
We're down to the scraps, but can't swallow mouthfuls here. Gotta
Okay.
Be cautious.
Okay. Yeah, you don't
You
want
get
too
a nice
much
big bite
chunky
right next to that
potatoes.
microphone.
Next one, we're going for a big bite.
I just didn't have him eat it throughout the episode. Absolutely what I would have done. I knew he wasn't going to do it fast.
Okay.
Alrighty, we're down to the end.
All right, the end here. Last
what we
couple
got.
bites. Your breath smells like
Yeah,
potatoes.
you smell like potato.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Smell like McDonald's.
Just kill it, man. It's not even McDonald's. It just smells like a fucking potato.
Yeah.
My poppy was a potato farmer. My poppy's poppy was a potato farmer.
It's a history.
Mistake is trying to swallow too big of bites. I've learned this.
Yeah.
I didn't know why you didn't just put the whole thing in your mouth, but now that makes sense.
I made that mistake too many times.
Yeah.
You chew it for way too long.
Yeah, it
It
was a
does not go
big
down
potato,
well.
so you can make a lot of mistakes.
yeah.
Which is a sentence
live-
I
you
never
live and you
thought
learn.
I'd
Yeah, I'm
say.
like, what?
Yeah.
Next time around, we're ready.
Next time you eat a raw potato, we know what to do.
In front of a camera.
Yeah.
Unfortunately,
Yeah. Did you cry a little bit? I see a little moisture under your eyes.
it just doesn't go down well. Chokes you up every time you go to swallow. From
Gotcha.
the dryness.
Gotcha.
A little bit of beer though.
Yeah.
Okay.
At least you had that to choke down.
Yeah.
I can't imagine.
I tried going raw. It didn't work.
Baby. All right. Last
It's
bite.
done.
Last bite. Once you get this down, your punishment is over, and you
Until next week.
may never have to do this again. We'll see.
The hospital's going to make a lot of appearances. The team's not looking too strong.
Yeah. I guess that's true, man. I don't know. We all kind of have. At least me and Danny both have shitty teams too. So.
Well, Danny's my rival right now. Every time I look at his team, I was like, all right, my team's shit in the bed. I see he has 120, and I'm like, we have a chance. We
Yeah.
have a chance.
Always have a chance when Danny's in the mix. Feel bad for him.
Shout out, Danny. Thank you.
Yeah.
Fucking unfortunate.
It is. It sucks. But it was your team last year.
Yeah.
It's
I
like
know,
it's his
it's
team this
fine.
year.
Gotta be someone.
All right.
Last swallow.
Last swallow. Beautiful. Good work, man. Good work today, boys. That's going to do it for this week's episode of the Fantasy Beer League. We'll be with you every Wednesday on YouTube with audio-only podcasts available on Apple and Spotify. He just gave proof. I hope you get a shot of that, Vince. Yeah, that's what that sound was.
That'll be it.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
Follow us on Twitter and Instagram at FantasyBeerLG. Those are the words Fantasy Beer and the letters LNG. As always, like and subscribe to our YouTube channel, or I'm going to stuff a raw potato down your throat and make you swallow it whole, you dirty, dirty dog. I'm Shawn Joyce. He He's Justin Giel. Thanks to Matt Montgomery for coming here and dealing with the punishment. Here's Matt Senni with his advice of the week.
If you watch college football and you go to your friend's flag football game, that does not make you a coach.
Thanks for watching. Shout out Matt Lamar. Good luck in week 6. Week 5. No fine. Week 5.